on behalf of everyone at Cooper Tires. Drivers, start your Mazda engines.
And with that, engines come to life down here on pit lane. Pato O'Ward starting on the pole position. Dallara Chassis, Mazda engines, Cooper Tires, ladies and gentlemen, Indy Lights to cap off today's portion of the Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires, their second race of the doubleheader.
Thanks, Rob Howden, as we're getting ready to roll for our final support race of the weekend. Let's say this is the top rung of the Mazda Road to Indy, and these drivers will be vying for that season-long championship. Pato O'Ward is the points leader. He's got a 25-point advantage over Colton Herta. Herta coming back from that thumb injury that suffered up in Toronto, as Rob mentioned, and looking for a good finish here as he finished on the podium yesterday in second position. Looking for that win today to close the gap to Pato O'Ward as they move into the oval at Gateway and then round out the season out at Portland with the Indy cars. Let's introduce the rest of our announced team as we're moving our way around the track. For those of you just arriving, my name's John Phippen. I look at the front straightaway here from the third floor of the Cooper Tires press tower, overlooking start-finish. The cars leave my view as we've got 2 pace laps coming up, and they come into the view of Mr. Rusty Bell, about halfway down the back straight. Rusty, good afternoon, my friend. It is race day.
Good afternoon, it certainly is, and we've got a big crowd coming in here, making their way to the infield, a lot of them, but some great other vantage points here. One of those, the top of the keyhole turn with a big crowd up there. So we want to say hello to all the fans. Also on the outside of turn 1, another great place to watch from, and it's filling up fast too. But we've got Indy Lights on track right now, getting ready as they warm themselves up here, getting ready to go here for this afternoon's racing. Looking forward to it as I pick them up out of turn 1, the very fast left-hand corner, up the straightaway into the off-camber, 180-degree top of the keyhole turn, then down the long back straightaway here. I'm about 2/3 of the way down that straightaway, and we get to watch them as they set up the passing and hard braking area, making their way into the S's.
Back in the day when I used to come here as a fan, and I must admit that's been over 30 years ago, I used to sit right where Brian Culbertson has his announce stand there at the S's. It's probably the best vantage point, and it's the place that fills up fastest. Brian, I would guess you got a pretty good crowd in front of you.
I would say a couple of my friends showed up this afternoon to spend the day here at Mid-Ohio. And we do. We have a great crowd, always do in the S's. And John, you know, it may be one of the best spots on the track. Rusty's got the best spot. I spent the weekend up there, AMA Vintage Days. That's an awesome spot to watch from.
Yeah, I'm jealous of Rusty's announce position, that's for sure.
I am too. And we talk about it. Is there a bad spot to watch at Mid-Ohio? Every single spot around the track here, there's a different thing to see. And one of those things is you go out Thunder Valley, completely different than the rest of the track and a great spot to watch from. But out here in the S's, we have 3 turns. It's a hard right-hander at the end of the back straightaway. That's turn number 4. Turn number 5, it's at the top of the hill. It's a left-hander. And then we drop back down the hill into turn number 6, and it's a right-hander. Lots of action all day today already out here in the S's.
And as they come up over the rise, they come into the view of the stand where I used to work back in the day. Tom Michaels, my friend, you're keeping it warm for me.
You're not coming back here, are you?
Well, I hope not, but you never know, my friend.
All right, well, we get to see him coming out of turn number 7. A couple of right-handers, 8 and 9, bring it up over this little bit of a rise. And tell you what, for the drivers, it's like when we're out there on a country road and you come up on over one of those little rises. It kind of does the thing to your stomach, makes the car a little bit light, then down into Thunder Valley. Underneath the pedestrian bridge, you go gently, so it looks gently, outside the car, through turn number 10, that's a right-hander, and then up into the very fast turn 11. Turn 11 is where a lot of people have gone wrong so far this weekend, so we'll see what happens as we have just 2 more races left here on this IndyCar weekend, and we're looking forward to the Cooper Tires Mid-Ohio Grand Prix presented by Mazda, the Indy Lights race.
None other than Simon Pagenaud and James Hinchcliffe got it all wrong at turn 11 in qualifying and practice earlier this weekend. So it has been a tricky place, and we've had at least one driver, I think, from each of the race series get it all crossed up. coming out of that turn. They come into the sweeping carousel turn, one of the 2 signature turns here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, which leads us back onto the front straightaway. So that's a lap of the track from the vantage point of our 4 track announcers here. We're very unusual in that respect, and we are so grateful to have this opportunity to bring the racing to you with eyes-on activity throughout the rest of the entire 2.4 miles of the course. The pace car has pulled in. The leaders are coming onto the front straightaway. We have an honorary flagger from the Cooper Tires waving the green flag, and Pato O'Ward gets the jump from the pole, but sweeping around the outside is Aaron Thielitz. Coming to you, Rusty.
Yeah, and the 23 car trying to, they're side by side right now. 23 trying to make a big move there. Franzoni and Dalton Kellett side by side around turn 1. I think actually Franzoni went backwards a little bit here at the start, but we'll shake it out here as they make their way down the straightaway. As you mentioned, Pato O'Ward out in front right now, and looks like he's got a little bit of a gap now on that number 9 of Thielitz, but the battle for second not done right now. Colton Herta, I think, has that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Herta's got that spot. Santi Urrutia had a really good qualifying time yesterday, or qualifying session. He looked really fast, but his time at the end of the session, he got a bad set of tires, was not able to improve. And now he's putting all kinds of pressure on Colton Herta. Leaders in front of you, Tom.
Yeah, no pressure at all on Pato O'Ward. Now Herta is starting to look at the tail of Thielitz, trying to pull up there. There's a pretty good battle there for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, but O'Ward's got to run it away already.
Dalton Kellett coming under some pressure from Ryan Norman. Did not have a good qualifying position. Ryan started the race yesterday from the front row. So Pato O'Ward is trying to do a disappearing act as he's already opened up a 2-second lead after just a single lap. But Colton Herta right on the gearbox of Aaron Thielitz, Rusty.
Yeah, that's the battle on the track right now. The closest one, there goes Herta, and he gets a little bit of a block move there from Thielitz. Now he's trying the outside at the top of the keyhole turn. Outside pass in the keyholes. He comes onto the straightaway and makes it stick. You don't see an outside pass up there very often, but he made it stick, and that's going to force the 9 car back again as Urrutia moves around him. So the 9 car getting a really bad run through the keyhole.
Yeah, that bad run through the keyhole cost him 2 spots. Urrutia gets up to the 3rd spot, and he is staying with Herta. The number 9 car struggling. The front end of that car just will not hook up over turn number 5. Tom Michaels coming at you. Pato O'Ward with the lead.
Absolutely. Herta in 2nd place. Then Urrutia. Then again, Aaron Thielitz. Aaron Thielitz had all sorts of problems yesterday and here. On just the 2nd lap of the race, falls back from 2nd to 4th.
Pato O'Ward trying to get away because he knows that his closest championship pursuer is now up into 2nd spot as Colton Herta comes across trying to draw away from the 2 Belardi teammates as Santi Urrutia up into the 3rd spot. Aaron Thielitz in 4th. Victor Franzoni, the Mazda Scholarship winner, in the 5th spot. Dalton Kellett and Ohio's Ryan Norman are the top 7. In fact, it looks like Victor Franzoni all over the back of Thielitz. Thielitz is going the wrong direction, Rusty.
Yeah, he's really struggling right now with that car. He got a little bit of a surprise with Herta going around the top of the keyhole and kept him from getting a good run onto the straightaway. He's pretty solid right now in that 4th spot. There's a challenge. Norman peeks out there around Kellett, but decides not to make it there.
Herta and the number 5 car of Santi Urrutia still nose to tail as they make their way out of the S's. But man, O'Ward just walking away.
Yeah, he just runs away, but he's got this is between turn 8 and 9 really over the 2nd place car of Colton Herta. And then Urrutia is trying to make this a battle for the lead, or for the 2nd place, I should say.
Andretti teammates, Andretti Steinbrenner for Colton Herta, and then the Andretti livery, of course, on Pato O'Ward's machine, as the driver from Mexico showing his heels to the field right now. As we check the interval, it's up over 3 seconds as he continues to be the fastest car on the racetrack. He just turned a 13.7, and Colton Herta only able to do about a 14, so about 0.3 of a second slower just on that last lap. Remember, these drivers, unlike the other 2 rungs on the Mazda Road to Indy, do have push to pass available. They have 20 pushes to pass available throughout the course of the race. Colton Herta has already used 2. Santi Urrutia has used up 5.
Yeah, Dalton Kellett gets wide at turn 1 into the grass right now and goes back to the last. Ryan Norman able to get around him.
field making their way through the S's. Santi Urrutia able to hang with Herta. Herta not making any inroads. O'Ward is just checking out on this one. Keep waiting for Herta to do something there, because Herta's car looked good yesterday.
Yeah, these top 3 cars, all the drivers here are heavily mentioned for seats in the Indy cars coming up next year. And if as many new teams show up as what has been rumored, there'd certainly be room for 3 of these guys, maybe even a 4th.
And Ryan Norman looking racy, the Ohio driver, after getting around Dalton Kellett after he put the wheels off there, and thanks for that heads-up call, Rusty, has closed up on the back of Victor Franzoni, the scholarship winner. So Ryan Norman looking to work his way forward. That's certainly a good run for the driver from up near Cleveland in Aurora, Ohio.
Yeah, he's about a car length behind right now as they make their way into the top of the keyhole, and it stays a car length. Norman trying to get around Franzoni, and we'll watch that down the straightaway. You can hear the car of Pato O'Ward going by. Also now Urrutia making a little bit more of a gap, closing in on Herta just a little bit. No change though. Norman peeks out but drops back behind.
Yeah, not quite close enough to pull that off. If the run from down in the keyhole gets so crucial at the end of the back straightaway, if they make a mistake their entry to the keyhole, they cannot make that run into turn number 4. Tom, the field's in front of you.
Yeah, the leader well by us. Not much more than the distance we've seen the last couple of laps over Colton Herta. Herta has to worry about his mirrors because Santi Urrutia is right there, and that's going to be a challenge for that 2nd place.
Yeah, yesterday Herta got trapped behind Dalton Kellett and ran in 3rd for most of the race and had to pretty much exhaust his pushes to pass to try to get around and up into 2nd. He finally got the job done, but he used up all of his push to passes you know, before the end of the race. And so this weekend, or this race, should we say, he's being a little more circumspect, and he's maintaining that that inventory, so he'll have it at the end of the race when perhaps the tires are gone off just a little bit. Then he might have a chance to close down and challenge for the lead. He's still got 18 to go, and of course O'Ward, just as he did yesterday, hasn't had to use a single one. The driver has to be within a second to use it, and Ryan Norman is definitely within a second.
Yeah, definitely. Norman right there looking to make a move. He tries the high side going into 5. That isn't going to work, but he's still right underneath the wind. He peeks to the inside of turn number 6. Can't get that done. Norman is the driver right now trying to make a pass, and they're backing themselves up here fighting.
Yeah, coming by us now. Victor Franzoni holds on to that 5th position. Ryan Norman right behind, but there's going to be no challenge going up into the carousel turn this time around.
Leader comes across the stripe to complete race lap number 6. This is a 30-lap or 45-minute race. And because this is the top rung of the Mazda Road to Indy, we expect these drivers to pretty much mind their P's and Q's. So yellows are rare. I'm not to say they don't ever happen, but yellows are not something that we expect to see. So we'll probably get all 30 laps in well inside the 45-minute time limit as we work our way around the track up into the view of Rusty Bell.
Down the straightaway again, we see Pato O'Ward, I'm going to say just cruising out in front, but he's turned a really good lap time, so cruising probably not the right word, but really has had no challenge so far this weekend. You mentioned he's got all 20 of his push-to-passes, the only driver that hasn't used one so far this weekend, but he is well out in front.
It looks like Herta's starting to pick up the pace just a little bit. I mean, O'Ward's well out front, but Herta's looking good.
Yeah, he's put a little gap on 3rd place Urrutia, but he has also just gotten ever so much, ever so little of his gap back on the leader. Before it was the length between turns 8 and 9. That's closed down just a little bit.
Yeah, watching the official timing as they come across the stripe, it was over 3 seconds in the early stages of the race. And you're right, Herta's just kind of chipping away at it. He's got it down to 2.6 as he is running just marginally faster than Pato O'Ward. Of course, he lost maybe half a tenth on that last lap, but he is trying to inch up and get closer, and he's preserving those pushes to pass. Unlike yesterday, he's only used 2 so far, so he's trying to do it on the track, try to get close where he can really use that push to pass button to pounce if he could get there. Santi Urrutia has already used up nearly half of his. He only has 11 left in 3rd spot.
Watching Ryan Norman trying to close in. In fact, all 3 of those cars getting close together. So we're going to keep an eye on that as Thielett's involved in that. Franzoni and Norman all have closed it up.
You're right, Rusty, and it's going to be a four-way battle here in just a moment. Those four cars starting to tighten up just a bit.
Aaron Thielitz holding down that fourth spot, and he's got a train of cars behind him, just as Brian was saying. Victor Franzoni, the Mazda Scholarship winner last time by, was about 0.8 of a second back. Here comes Thielitz with the train of cars. We'll check the intervals as Franzoni comes across the line. It's about 0.7 of a second, about the same interval back to Ryan Norman. Dalton Kellett falling off the tail end just a little bit. He's got a full second to make up to stay in touch with Ryan Norman. Fast lap that last time by, turned by Colton Herta. He's got that interval down under 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, this time around, Dalton Kellett again struggling through turn one. The car, he had to lift off the throttle, and the car went up on top of the curbing. The car not handling very well in the high-speed turn one area, so he is losing ground.
You're right, Rusty. It's visibly different right now. Herta looks really good, so maybe he went out. Herta went out a little less tire pressure, and the tires are just coming in on Herta. Maybe he was thinking long race strategy there. We'll see how that plays out.
Hasn't really picked up on the leader, but he has been able to gap himself on third place. Meanwhile, the battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth, that continues station keeping Thielitz, Franzoni, and Norman.
Yeah, Franzoni maybe a little closer to Thielitz this time by as they come off the carousel turn. Looks like about maybe 2 car lengths as they accelerate across the stripe, and maybe 3 car lengths back to Ryan Norman. So if anything, it looks like Victor Franzoni, the Brazilian, might be closing down on Aaron Thielitz. Again, these guys are burning their pushes to pass. Urrutia's only got 10 left. Franzoni's only got 10 left. Thielitz has got 13 left.
As they tighten up in the top of the keyhole turn, 2 car lengths between each of those 3 cars we're following. Now our front 3 cars already by me, and then a big gap now back to that 9 of Thielitz. The 23 car on the push to pass, I'm sure, as he's trying to go the outside.
He is on the high side there. We've seen that pass completed several times. Is he getting a good? No, he gets into the back end and spins him out. So the 9 car, Thielitz here, has spun it out. He stays hard on the throttle to try to keep it running. And unfortunately, he is going to get high centered here. Oh no, we don't need a full course yellow right now. Thielitz high centered right at the exit of turn number 5.
So Franzoni on the button was trying to get that pass done, and Brian, it looks like he just, let's see, we're getting a replay of it right now. Franzoni with 2 wheels in the dirt. I think he just understeered into the back of Thielitz. I don't think it was deliberate. I think he just got pushed wide and really nothing he could do.
So we are going to go full course yellow. Unfortunately, Thielitz's car is just high centered right here at the curb. He can't get any traction with the rear wheels not touching the ground, and I'm with you, John. He wasn't pushed off the track. It's just tight, close racing. The front end washed out with no aero grip and very little mechanical grip as you go over the top of 6 and they make contact. And that's what happens with close racing. But we're going to go full course yellow. That'll pack it all up. And I'm sure there's one car number 27 that's not real happy about this.
Yeah, and one car number 98 who's got a big grin under that helmet is Colton Herta, after starting in the 3rd spot, got up to 2nd. As we can see, Thielitz's car now being pushed out of the way. There looks like they're going to try to get it restarted. I do have to wonder if Franzoni's got any damage to that right front corner. He hit him a pretty good lick.
I didn't see any, John. Next time by, we'll still be on a full course yellow, and I'll try to get some glasses on that. We'll see. Maybe Tom Michaels can tell.
Nope, didn't look like it.
And we are green out here at 5, so really quick turnaround by the AMR guys. They get this done right away here, and we are green back here in the S's.
Just getting word from race control, they're not going to bring out the safety car since we have a clear track. So they're going to stay yellow, I think, for 1 full lap, and they'll get a restart here in front of us. So the teams will be on the radio to all of their drivers to pack up behind the leader, Pato O'Ward. He's got to maintain safety car speed, and they'll work their way around and get the green flag here in front of us. Again, the AMR safety crew doing a great job. New sponsorship for our the IndyCar safety crew. It's all the same personnel, the same great safety crew, the best in the world that has kept the IndyCar and the Road to Indy drivers safe for many, many years. Just coming under new sponsorship as American Medical Response, AMR, took over the sponsorship of the safety car team, and as always, doing a fantastic job keeping the course as green as possible. Rusty, it looks like everybody's weaving back and forth trying to keep temperature in these tires.
Yeah, Thielitz is caught up to the back of the field right now, so we're watching that car, although that car, I believe, will be a lap down in that last spot. So we're watching the field. Looks like lights are out right now, so lights are out on the cars. We should be back to green next time they come by you, John.
So, do you think a push to pass is going to come into play from Herta down the back straightaway the next time, Rusty?
I imagine so. He's got 18 of them with about 18 laps left, so yeah.
Yeah, coming up on half distance here. They'll be completing race lap 12 this time by, so we'll be not quite halfway home of the 30-lap race, but with this short yellow, it certainly won't run us afoul of the 45-minute time limit. But we will get the restart this time. Tom Michaels, are they all packed up?
They're getting that way as they come up through turn number 10 into 11. They head into the carousel turn.
Of course, this is where all the gamesmanship comes into play as we watch Aaron Thielitz at the tail end of the field. Pato Award, Colton Herta, Santi Urrutia. Pato gets the jump as he takes off a little early and gets the job done. Already opening up a bit of a gap. The battle's on for third. Look at Franzoni on Urrutia.
Yeah, he thought about it there, but he drops back behind. Pato Award out about 3 car lengths. The rest of the field 2 car lengths apart. So everybody single file right now, strung out just a little bit as they're looking at it. But the battle for second, actually, Urrutia looks like he's closing in on Herta. I got to imagine most of these cars will be on the push to pass. Here comes Ryan Norman now trying Franzoni on the inside of the King. He's still on the inside, but not close enough.
Not close enough. He did close it up there, Rusty, like you said, Rusty. Herta putting a little bit of pressure on Award. He's got about 2 car lengths behind him. Tell you what, Herta looks like he might be on the push to pass now. The front end washes out as he went into turn number 6, but he closed it down.
Yep, closes it down a little bit. 3 car lengths between first and second. Santi Urrutia riding there in the number 5 spot. Thielitz would love to be able to pull himself up and get around. He'd like to pass everybody in case there was another full course yellow and get himself there on the lead lap at the tail of the field. Right now, he is 1 lap down.
Well, Brian, a race control has judged the incident that you and I thought was a racing incident a little differently. Victor Franzoni is being issued a drive-through penalty for avoidable contact. So Franzoni will have to come in for a drive-through out of 4th place, which will put him behind the 8 ball again. That'll bring the Ryan Norman up into that 4th position. But again, Franzoni having to serve a drive-through for avoidable contact. Herta has only used 1 more of his pushes to pass. He's still got 17 left. Franzoni's down to 7. And I think he did that before he realized he's got this drive-through. Great battle at the back of the field coming to you, Brian.
Yeah, great battle trying to move back up through the field. And another great battle is Herta had got it down to less than a car length at the end of the back straightaway. Thielitz putting all kinds of pressure on Dalton Kellett right now as they make their way out of the S's.
Absolutely. We watch as the leaders come by here. A couple of car lengths between first and second. Battle you were talking about at the very end of the field. Thielitz trying to pull up there and start getting his lap back. Not able to do it.
Thielitz, of course, is a lap down, so that battle is not for position. But here comes Victor Franzoni. He is going to serve that drive-through penalty. And Colton Herta has used up some pushes to pass as he's down to 15 now, and we're at half distance. So he's still got 15 of the 20 left, and he's closed it down to about 3/4 of a second at the line.
Yeah, and he still isn't matching the Pato Award pace right now, even on those pushes to pass. He's not losing ground, but he just doesn't look like anybody has anything from Pato Award out at the front right now as he is still out there driving. But Herta trying to catch a little draft, gets a little closer. I think the draft might be coming into play.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it, Rusty. He's able to close it down to about a car length and a half, and that's as close as he can get. They make their way through turn number 6 right now. And again, Award just drives away from him as soon as he gets on the power, leaving turn 6.
Yeah, he's not being left in the dust this time around. About 2.5 car lengths continue to separate Award and Herta as they go through turn number 9. The rest of the field pretty much just station keeping as we move past the middle part of this race.
As you can see, if you can see the big screens, we're getting a great view out of the back of Pato Award's car of the pursuing Colton Herta. These two drivers are first and second in the championship standings right now. In third place on the track, Santi Urrutia, also third in the points. Ryan Norman up to fourth, gifted by the fact that Victor Franzoni had to serve that drive-through penalty. So great run again for the Ohio-based driver Ryan Norman.
Closest battle on the track right now is the one up front as Colton Herta tries to close in again on that last lap. He's a little bit quicker, and he's about a car length now as we see some defensive driving out of Award.
Yeah, Award very defensive because Colton Herta had pulled up, tried to make the high side move. They're side by side almost through turn number 5. Colton Herta has put a charge on all of a sudden. Out of nowhere, Colton Herta has made this a race at the front. Tom, they're coming towards you.
Yep, close as it's been through turn number 9. A little more than a car length separating Award and Herta. Herta not able to make a charge as they go down through 10 into the left-hander. They're through 11.
Herta was really patient yesterday, finally making that pass on the eventual third place finisher, Dalton Kellett, to take over second. So he realizes he's still got some time to go as we're just past half distance, just completing race lap 17 of the scheduled 30. So Herta has burned up a few more pushes to pass. He's got 11 left now, but on his last lap, he was about 2/10 quicker. This time, I think he's going to bide his time a little bit and see if he can get closer coming through the carousel turn. What do you think, Rusty? He's certainly not close enough at this point.
Yeah, he's back. He's lost a car length or so, maybe more that he had last lap. He was a car length back. Now he's about 3 car lengths behind. The battle, though, for third is tightened up again. Now Ryan Norman, resurgent, is peeking to the inside of the 5 car of Urrutia.
Yeah, he peeks to the inside, but at the end of the back straightaway, Colton Herta gets it down to less than a car length. Herta took the brakes really late, Rusty, and gets it down to about a car length.
Yeah, he's probably using that post to pass. That's a good place on the racetrack to do it. He's not going to be using that over here. And he doesn't pick up any kind of ground as they go up through Thunder Valley.
Yeah, Pato Award's car handling really well on the twisty bits. It's very much planted, as again, we've been seeing this pretty consistent shot out of the back of Award's car, just over his rear wing to see Herta. And Herta's car is really a bit squirrelier. He may have it trimmed out a bit, maybe, perhaps looking for a little more straight line speed, but he's having a lot of trouble, especially on the high-speed turns, keeping that car planted.
Watching him now up into the keyhole turn. It's 2 car lengths now in the middle of the keyhole. That race behind those, a car length and a half, as Norman looking to get around Urrutia to get himself up on a podium spot. Down the straightaway, Herta's still not close enough to make a charge here at the top end. He may close it up under braking. But down the next behind those, side by side, Brian.
It is side by side for that third spot. No changes, over under tried. That's take, oh man. The 48 car of Ryan Norman almost got that done. It's nose to tail as they make their way through 6. We've got a great battle coming your way, Tom.
Absolutely, a battle for the lead, then a battle for that third place position. Norman, a car length and a half behind Santi Urrutia. That battle continues up into the carousel.
Norman already 1 place higher than he finished yesterday, finishing in 5th spot, and he would love to get up on the box in his home race. So we'll keep an eye on that battle as Award and Herta continue to run, separated by just over half a second. Here comes Urrutia with Norman storming by. Wow, Norman dropped a wheel off at the just as he was taking the turn into turn number 1, dropped the right side wheels off and kicked up a cloud of dust.
Watching him now, again, a car length and a half. Coming onto the back straightaway, so we'll keep an eye on that battle for the third spot. The battle up front remains pretty stationary. At the top end, Herta continues to use those pushes to pass. He's down to 5, and may I used one right now. He may be down to 4. That battle again, can't quite make it stick, Brian.
No, he tries that high side line. We'll keep watching. Santi Urrutia taken to the inside defensive, but this is an awesome battle. Norman just going all after Urrutia as they make their way through the S's.
I tell you what, even though he is not able to make the charge there on the lead right now, you have to give an awful lot of credit to Colton Herta, who was driving injured here. He hurt that thumb there in Toronto, and they tape it up, and he is running a couple of races this weekend.
Yeah, that's got to be gotta hurt. You know, they say it was a non-displaced fracture of his thumb. They've got a couple different splints they can try on it, and he claims that it's okay. But a track that is as physical as Mid-Ohio is, you know, that's got to be a factor for him. But he's down to 5 pushes to pass left, is Colton Herta, and we've got 11 laps still to go. Ryan Norman all over the back of Santi Urrutia. That is still the best battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, now it's less than a car length. That's as close as it's been coming out of the keyhole turn. He's been back a little further. Now he's already on the outside. He's alongside. He's in front right now, Brian, if he can hang on to it.
And he's going to get the door closed here as long as he keeps his braking under control, and he does. Norman does that perfect, makes the pass at the end of the back straightaway. He is now to 3rd spot. He's starting to drive away from Urrutia. There goes Norman. Watch this, Tom. They're coming in front of you. Urrutia's got 5 on him.
Well, right now, Urrutia does not have the ability to make the charge. He has fallen back and continues to drop a little bit of ground as they go through Thunder Valley.
Yeah, looks like Norman was being held up by Santi Urrutia, so now that he's in clear air, he's able to make up some ground. And again, this is his home track. He's on the podium. He's got to be happy with that kind of finish. He's a little further back in the point standings. He's 5th in the points, but if he can do well and keep Victor Franzoni behind him, he might be able to move up to 4th before the season is out. And so Ryan Norman having a good run here in that Journey liveried machine. We're getting a replay of the pass on the big screen.
Yeah, that was, he made that look easy, but that's only because he was close in the top of the keyhole. Right now, that battle at the front separates just a little bit. Colton Herta maybe saving the pushes to pass, and he isn't quite as close as he has been. And look at the Norman pulling away from Urrutia.
Yeah, Ryan Norman, what a drive he's putting in now. He gets around Santi Urrutia and is pulling away here. I mean, I never want a full course yellow, but boy, it'd be fun to see what Ryan Norman could do at the point now.
Yeah, he's all by his lonesome there in 3rd place. Car gets a little bit loose as it comes through turn number 9. But right now he's taking it well off the apex, coming through turn number 10 up into 11. Award Herta Norman, that's your top 3.
Norman just set the fast lap of the race. He's got a big interval to make up. It's almost 5 seconds up to the back of Colton Herta, and I don't know with only a handful of laps left if he's got enough time to catch him, but like you said, if a yellow comes out, he's going to be right in the mix. Herta's down to 3 pushes to pass. Norman has 5. Urrutia has 6. Dalton Kellett, who's about 4 seconds behind Urrutia, has 10 at his disposal.
Yeah, and then our leader has 20. He hasn't used one all weekend. He didn't use one yesterday, and he hadn't used one so far today. Colton Herta back about 4 car lengths.
Yeah, I just wondered, does O'Ward get bonus points or dollars paid out since he didn't push the button the whole weekend long? About 6 car lengths as they go through turn number 6, but I'm really impressed with Ryan Norman. Great run now that he's gotten around Urrutia.
Tom Michaels, you just made a great observation off the mic on the intercom. You know, Patrick O'Ward hasn't used push to pass because he hasn't needed to, and you can't. If you're in the lead, you have to be within 1 second of the car you're trying to overtake in order to use that push to pass button. And when you lead all the laps, you never have the opportunity to use it. So Colton Herta falling a little further behind. You know, it's the oldest adage in racing. The most important turn on the racetrack is the turn leading on to the longest straightaway. That obviously means it's the keyhole turn here at Mid-Ohio. And Rusty, you've been saying it all race long. If they get a good run through the keyhole, they've got a great chance at the end of the straight.
Yeah, they've got to close to within about a car length in the middle of the keyhole corner, and that sets them up to catch the draft down the straightaway, and that's where the pass will happen. So nothing this far. They've all begun to separate themselves a little bit further right now. We see Colton Herta with only 2 pushes to pass left.
Yeah, we talk about that pass starts in the keyhole, but really, Rusty, it starts at turn 1. If you don't get a good run out of turn 1 to keep up with the guy in front of you in the keyhole, you can't follow him out to make the run down the back straightaway.
Really a 2-car battle. There are no other positions in close contention now, as it is the leaders, O'Ward and Herta. They are the championship protagonists coming into Toronto. Colton Herta had the points lead, but because of that thumb injury, he finished 6th and 7th in the 2 races, and Pato O'Ward won one of them and finished 2nd in the other one. So that difference is what has allowed O'Ward to take over the points lead, and this weekend he's padded it, and he's going to pad it some more. He'll have close to a 30-point lead leaving here if they finish the way they are right now.
Yeah, Herta not letting him go. He's staying right there. In fact, he's a little closer this time than he was last lap.
Yeah, Herta able to stay there, but he's just got to be just about out of push to pass. And that was how he was getting closed up on the back of O'Ward.
Yeah, right now I think O'Ward is just kind of teasing Herta just a little bit. He's able to smoothly go through turn number 9 and up through 10. That car number 27 hadn't put a wheel wrong all weekend.
You know, we were talking about the leader not using the pushes to pass. Actually, you can't use the push to pass to defend at any time, no matter where you are in the track. So Pato O'Ward, obviously with no one to pass, can't use the button, but you can't use the button if someone's trying to overtake you to defend that position. So it's really only for overtaking opportunities. Herta's down to 2 pushes to pass as we've got 6 laps remaining, working race lap number 26 right now.
Yeah, I think the tires have gone away on Urrutia. We can see him coming through turn 1 at a slower pace than the other drivers. He's fairly comfortable in that 4th spot right now. No challenge in front or behind. But he is, I think the tires have gone away as the way that car is working its way through this section of the track.
Leaders coming into the carousel turn. Pato O'Ward in cruise control mode right now. He probably is being warned by his team that his closest pursuer, Colton Herta, is down to his last push to pass. And with a handful of laps left, Herta just sets the fast lap of the race, a 1:12.0883, but it may be too little too late. Does he have enough as in these final handful of laps to get the job done? He is closing down a little bit, and that happened yesterday. O'Ward kind of lost a little pace at the very end of the race. Does Herta have the magic touch to be able to keep the tires under him and make a bid here, Rusty? What do you think?
I saw a brake lockup out of our leader that time going into the keyhole, which means he's worried about the car behind. So a little bit of brake lockup out of Pato O'Ward this time.
Yeah, what we noticed, or at least I noticed here in the S's yesterday, at the very end of the race, O'Ward's tires started to go away. He was picking up a push through the S's, which of course, he used the tires correctly the entire race, and they're done on the last couple laps. That's what you want to see a driver do.
Here they come, and it is closer. The interval at the stripe was just under 9/10 of a second last time by, and I'm guessing it's a little closer than that, just from my, as I spy with my little eye, and it's down to 6/10 of a second, and Herta is holding on to that final boost button, that final push to pass for the charge. He's going to try to get right on his gearbox and then use it to take over the lead. Rusty Bell, he's a little closer up in the keyhole. He's reeling him in.
Yeah, 4, maybe 5 car lengths this time. He won't be close enough for a pass this lap, but certainly getting a little bit closer. Should save that push to pass. Again, he saw that brake lockup too, so he knows he can push O'Ward maybe into a mistake or to wear out the front tires and save that 1 push to pass for the last lap.
Yeah, Herta sawing at the wheel himself as he makes his way through turn number 6, so Herta really pushing hard.
Yeah, he's about the same distance back as he was last time by. Puts the right side wheels up on the rumble strip. This time he lets the rear end come out, kicks up a whole lot of dirt down at the bottom of Thunder Valley. He's doing everything he can to catch up, and that's going to cost him there.
Yeah, all that, those tenths of a second that he was able to pick up here and there have just gone out the window as he dropped the wheels off over the gator's teeth coming through turn number 9. As we're getting down to the final laps here, working race lap 29. As Colton Herta has fallen now 1 second and 4/10. That little bobble there in front of Tom cost him almost half a second.
Yeah, not anywhere near close enough to make anything happen here as we get towards the end of this one down the straightaway. Probably 10 car lengths now, maybe a little more than that. Award looks in his mirror, sees that, and knows that maybe he can let up just a little bit as we are getting down towards the end of this race.
Oh yeah, that gap has gotten quite a bit with that slide off of turn number 9. That really cost Herta quite a bit. Probably took him a while just to get the tires cleaned back off because he got a lot of dirt built up on him. Tom, they're headed for you right now.
Yep, but now it's again the distance between turns 9 and 8. The distance between first and second. So Pato O'Ward. There's about 3 laps left here. Colton Herta in second place. Then Ryan Norman had a great battle there for a while with Sandy Arrutia, able to get around him, and he has taken off.
And Colton Herta has used his final push to pass in a vain attempt to make up that little bobble that he made a lap ago. So it is definitely in Pato O'Ward's hands right now, as he has got the bit in his teeth. He's almost 2 seconds out in front. No positions in contention. Will be coming to the white flag this time by Pato O'Ward on his way to sweeping the weekend.
Down the straightaway again, he can see Herta falling backwards in his mirrors, and now his crew's probably told him no push to pass left, so no challenge from behind right now, as O'Ward will look for the white flag this time by.
O'Ward through the S's here. He's down into turn number 6. Colton Herta. And hats off, what a great drive. Ryan Norman up there into that 3rd spot. Looks like he's going to get a podium out of this.
The leader stretches it even more as we come up here to the white flag lap. Looking now is Norman, right all by his lonesome back there in 3rd place, and then a big distance back to Sandy Arrutia.
Through the carousel turn smoothly onto the front straightaway. The white flag waves for Pato O'Ward as he appears to be on his way. It wouldn't be the first time that somebody has had a problem on the final lap, but Pato O'Ward has been in control all weekend long as he's headed up to the keyhole for the final time, Rusty. Looks like he's got this one in the bag.
Yeah, he's looked in his mirrors once again and knows that there is no challenge right now. Just needs to keep the car pointed down the racetrack right now, and he does so as he's going to come by here at the kink. No challenge, nobody in front or behind. There's Herta, and he has fallen backwards, pretty much given up this one as well. So we'll look to see Pato O'Ward looking for the checker.
O'Ward, the weekend basically goes to him here in Indy Lights on this last step in the road to Indy with the Mazda cars. And I tell you what, these guys are going to be fun to watch next year. What do you think, Tom?
I think so, and it's just a question where they're going to be, who they're going to be with when it comes up to the 2019 season in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Just one more turn coming up here for Pato O'Ward.
The double checkered flags in the hand, and there they are, and it's Pato O'Ward sweeping the weekend. His crew out to the pit wall to give him congratulations. Colton Herta minimizes the damage by coming home in 2nd spot, but now the interval is 32 points separating O'Ward from Herta. Their next race is an oval, and there are extra points available. They get 45 points for the win rather than 30. So the fat lady hasn't sung yet, but she is warming up. I think that's safe to say. Ryan Norman, the Ohio driver, comes home 3rd. Great run for him after starting at the back of the field. Works his way through, got a little help from a couple of penalties, but works his way up to a podium finish. Great job for Ryan. Santi Arrutia will finish at 4th spot. Dalton Kellett comes home 5th. Victor Franzoni, despite his drive-through penalty, maintains a 6th place finish, and Aaron Tielitz at the back after being spun out and stalling the engine there at about half distance. Pato O'Ward waving to the fans as he makes his way around on his cool-down lap. Great job for that young man.
A clean sweep of the weekend here at Mid-Ohio. Pato O'Ward, we just saw you talking to your team owner, Mike Andretti. What's it like knowing that you're one step away from the IndyCar Series? You're with a team like Andretti Autosport, and you got a guy like him working with you.
I think I can't even put it into words. Whenever they approved me to come into the team, it was not, kind of life-changing, because it's someone with such knowledge and such just prestige, like a name of Andretti, to accept you. and to take you in and try to basically just teach you as much as they can to improve yourself as a race car driver. And it's been an awesome year. I've just tried to show them what I can do with a race car, and hopefully in the future they can put me in one of those big boys. But you know, I'm speechless. This year has gone not as expected, well, kind of as expected, but I didn't think it would be. I don't know. It's hard to put into words, honestly.
It's a clean sweep of the podium also today for Andretti Autosport. That must say a lot for you and your team rolling into the season finale.
Yeah, no, the team has given us a rocket ship of race cars, the 27, 48, the 98, and obviously the 28. So it's just up to us to put it on the top and to put it on the podium. And it's just, they've just given us an awesome package to work with.
Pato O'Ward, congratulations on a fantastic weekend. You're one big step closer to the Indy Lights Championship.
Thank you.